Today on Northern Revolutions, I'm going to show you some of my record pickups for the month of July, so stay tuned. Hey, Violent community, welcome to Northern Revolutions. I'm Rob. Welcome back if you're returning. Welcome if you're new. Today I'm going to do my monthly record pickups video. I didn't do one for the month of June because, believe it or not, in the month of June, I didn't buy a single record. Didn't buy a lot for July either. It's not. I mean, I'm not on a record buying hiatus or anything. It's just there isn't a ton of new stuff that is really grabbing my attention lately. I haven't had a chance to go, crate digging. Haven't been to a show. Haven't been to a record store in a while. Just been very busy with work. So the record purchases are a little light, but I've got half a dozen or so here from July that I think are somewhat interesting. So I'm going to share them with you today. So the first one that I picked up, I'm not sure if I mentioned this band before. I think I have once. This is the new record from a band called the Sheepdogs. This is their new release called Out of Sight. The Sheepdogs are a rock band from Regina, Saskatchewan. They are a very 70s rock band. It's kind of the thing. That's kind of what they look like. I mean, that is what they look like, but they're going for that sort of 70s aesthetic, I guess. And that's what they sound like. They're a fantastic rock band. This, I think, is, I want to say, like their 6th or 7th album. They've been around for about 15 years. They were in the contest that Rolling Stone magazine did about, 10 years ago, might have been longer, for putting the first unsigned band on the cover of Rolling Stone, and they won. And that's kind of what launched their career. They had a few albums before that, but that's what really enabled their career to take off. Huge here in Canada. I think they do relatively well in the States. I don't know that they're, widely known, but they certainly tour the States quite regularly and Europe. Really great band. It's kind of in the vein of like Skynyrd or, I don't know, sort of that. It's not Southern rock, but it's very 70s rock. And this is their newest offering. It's fantastic. I've only listened to it twice, so I don't know that I can offer a lot of commentary on it yet. But suffice it to say, if you like, catchy guitar, Les Paul sort of 70s rock, give the Sheepdogs a try. And any of their albums are fantastic, but my personal opinion, out of all of them, this is probably the best one. At the same visit to the one and only record store that I went to this month when I got the Sheepdogs record, I also picked up a bootleg. I don't have a lot of bootlegs. I'm going to censor the cover on this because it's, I'm not prudish, but it's maybe a little inappropriate. But nevertheless, this is a Linda Ronstadt bootleg. This is live at the Roxy. I don't know when this was. I'm guessing mid-70s. It's a decent quality recording for the 70s. I would think it's probably someone in the audience with a tape recorder. I don't think it was recorded, by the sound people, but nevertheless, it's a, I don't know, 50-minute show, and it's got some of her songs she's known for. Silver Threads and Golden Needles, When Will I Be Loved, Desperado, Heat Wave, Heart Like a Wheel. Sadly, my favorite song, Tumblin' Dice, is not on here. But I love Linda Ronstadt. I think she's maybe the greatest female singer ever. So I don't know if she's got a live album or not, but when I saw this, I thought, I'm going to take a gamble on it. And certainly not perfect audio by any means, but an enjoyable Linda Ronstadt show from the 70s. The next one I picked up is a single. I love the Bangles. I have all the Bangles records. There's not that many. I think there's 6. But anytime I find Bangles something on vinyl, I grab it. This is the 45 RPM single for If She Knew What She Wants. Has the single version, has the extended remix. The extended remix sucks. And then Angels Don't Fall in Love. It's great. I love the song If She Knew What She Wants. I love everything the Bangles did. I especially love Susanna Hoffs. So I just had to buy this single because I hadn't seen it before. Speaking of the Bangles, this is an interesting record. This is Under the Covers. This is Susanna Hoffs, my fantasy wife, from the Bangles, and Matthew Sweet. From 2006 to 2013, they did 3 albums called Under the Covers, Volume 1, 2, and 3. And it's just the 2 of them doing their take on some of their favorite songs from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. I don't have the 3 individual volumes, but last year they came out with the best of Under the Covers. So this is just culled from those 6 records because they're doubles. It's on transparent red vinyl. I think they call it cherry vinyl. It's enjoyable. I'm not overly familiar with Matthew Sweet's catalog. I love Susanna Hoffs' voice. So they do some interesting covers on here. And Your Bird Can Sing, which is a Beatles song. Secondhand News, which is a Fleetwood Mac song. You're So Vain, Maggie May, Different Drum, Cinnamon Girl, Melissa, Give Me Some Truth, Free Fallin'. I mean, there's a ton of stuff on here. All very entertaining covers. Some of them try to stay fairly true to the originals and others not so much. So I bought this because I'm a big Susanna Hoffs fan, but I really enjoyed this so much so that I think I'm going to track down the 3 individual volumes. So the best of Under the Cover, Susanna Hoffs and Matthew Sweet. The next one is Liam Gallagher's new album, Come On You Know. I have talked before on my channel, I was growing up as a huge Oasis fan, and always thought Noel was the talent in that band, and I still think that. And when Oasis broke up, I was firmly in the Noel Gallagher camp, and I loved the High Flying Birds, and ignored Liam's early stuff. I thought BDI, which was Oasis without Noel, I thought they were not very good. But in recent times, I don't like the music that Noel and High Flying Birds have been putting out. It's not guitar rock like Noel is known for. It's too sort of dancey, and that shit doesn't interest me. But I thought Liam's last album, Why Me, Why Not, I thought it was outstanding. It was very much in the vein of, the rock that Oasis would have made back in the day. And his Unplugged was great. So this just came out. This is obviously not the standard version. This is the clear vinyl version. They didn't have the black one at the record store they went to, so I grabbed this. I I've only listened to it once. It's good. I like it. Is it as good as Why Me, Why Not, his previous record? No, but it's certainly better than the BDI stuff. So I think in another couple listens, I'll enjoy it. Okay, the next one I was excited to find. This is a band called the Crash Test Dummies, and this is their album, The Ghosts That Haunt Me, from 1991. Everybody knows I'm a huge nut for Canadian music. This is an absolutely iconic Canadian album from 1991. These guys are from Winnipeg, I believe, but I think now they're based in New York because that's where Brad lives. I don't know how well known these guys are outside of Canada. I think they have some popularity in the US. They're still touring and still playing, but I think, really the heyday of their career was the 90s and the early 2000s. But this is their first record. This contains the song Superman, or actually called Superman Song. This was an absolute staple on Much Music. I mean, that video, I have probably seen it 500 times. Great song. I don't know if it received much airplay in the US, but you may remember the Crash Test Dummies on their next album, God Shuffled His Feet. They had a song called I don't hum, so there you go. Brad Roberts has an incredibly deep baritone voice. I think that song was pretty popular in the States, so much so that Weird Al did a cover or a parody of that song. I think he called it like Headline News or something like that. But if you heard Brad's voice, I think you might recognize at least the voice. But anyway, I was glad to grab this record. They also had God Shuffled His Feet, but I grabbed this because I like Superman's song. It's fantastic. And, everything on this is great. They're a rock band, but early on in their career, they were more acoustic rock, and that's certainly what this falls into. But this is just an iconic Canadian album from the 1990s, and glad that it has finally been issued on vinyl and that I was able to grab a copy. So, Crash Test Dummies. And I've saved the best for last, I think. Sadies. Colder Streams. I have talked about the Sadies before. They are a rock, country rock, neither of those descriptions. Psychedelic cowboys, I guess is how you want to describe it. I know these guys have got a little bit of recognition in the U.S. I think more of a cult following mainly. These guys can play anything with anybody. They backed Nico Case for a while. They played with a bunch of other some blues guys and whatever. This is their most recent album that just came out this month. This band is Dallas and Travis Good, they're brothers, with Sean Dean and Mike Beletsky. That's been the lineup since day one, which is 30 years ago now. They had just recorded this back in the spring when Dallas, who's the lead singer, died very unexpectedly. It was a shocking, news to certainly the Canadian music scene, but I know other people. I mean, Mazzy did a thing on his channel about, these guys and how shocking it was to hear that news. Thankfully, they got one more in under the wire. I don't mean that to sound insensitive. I certainly don't. I've met these guys. They're wonderful human beings, incredibly talented musicians. This is sort of that same cosmic cowboy music that their other albums are, but it's so good. I don't know how to describe the Sadies. You just have to listen to them. They're, Yeah, Cosmic Cowboy is the best way to describe it, but they're amazing. They can play anything. So happy that this finally arrived. It is on colored vinyl as well. There is a standard black version, but I was able to get I think they're calling it ice vinyl. I think there's only 1,000 copies of this. Great record. I highly recommend picking this up. It might be, a lot of reviews are saying this is the best Sadie's record yet. I don't think it is. I think it's their second best. Their best is one of their early albums called Tremendous Efforts, but it's not out on vinyl. So anyway, the Sadie's Colder Streams. That is everything for me today, folks. Like I said, not a lot of record acquisitions in the last couple months, but a few interesting things that I thought I would share with you anyway. So that's it for me today. Thank you for watching. I will see you again soon. Catch you on the flip side.